found a box underneath my grandmother's bed, the one place that this family member forgot to look. And the only object in it was this. The same golden necklace that my grandmother had shown me in the dream. And immediately I was like, you know what? I call dibs. It's mine. I saw it first. And seriously, it's why I have it. Today, this is one of the few objects I actually have of my grandmother's. And though at the time it was important for me to have it for what it represented, I really grew to understand that this was a symbol. It symbolized the intangible connection I had to my grandmother. And as I get older, I realized that in some degree, it really represents the intangible connection we all have to our loved ones. My grandmother, for as much as she taught me in my life, doing homework, helping me, watching tennis, she taught me so many formative, valuable lessons. And her parting lesson to me, honestly, was the most profound. And it was to value experiences and not hold on to things, that it is just stuff. Now, girlfriends, we all like a good pair of shoes, don't get me wrong. But buy a pair of shoes and go on vacation with your family wearing them. You know what I mean? They want us to have experiences, because when they transition, that's all we take with us, is those memories. Okay? So that is the lesson my grandmother taught me, was it's just stuff. All right. Here's the water. So I know it might sound a little weird, the idea of learning life lessons from the other side, but I'll explain why I've really found this to be true. So people ask me all the time as a medium, they're like, Tyler, if you talk to dead people, where do we go? Is it heaven? Is it hell? Are we talking about Allah? Are we talking about Christ? Where do we go? What happens? Which religion is right? The thing is, not an easy question to answer, and I obviously have tried to ask. Now the thing is anytime I've ever tried to get an understanding of, where we go, or the nature of the universe, they almost laugh at me. They liken it to trying to explain arithmetic to a cockroach, and I'm the cockroach in this equation. Can you imagine, you've got a cockroach in front of you, and you're like, look, cockroach, 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's basic to me, but not, why don't you understand? We're the cockroach in this equation, in the sense that we are limited in our ability to fully understand our role in the universe. We're limited in our understandings of physics, of quantum physics, and so many other things that really limits our ability to perceive where we are in the world in the long term. With that said, in every reading that I've done, I have found there to be 2 universal truths, 2 processes that I have found that every single soul goes through that I know 100% to be true. So I'm going to tell you, as Oprah says, what I know for sure. The first process that I want to share with you, that I believe we all go through, is the process of a life review. Who here has heard of that term? A couple people, all right. Yeah. So life review, you can hear about it in movies sometimes, you see people's life flashing before their eyes and that kind of thing. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I believe that when we transition, we see the ripple effect that our actions and our inactions had on the world around us. How we affected people in ways that we may not even understood when we were here. This isn't punishment. I believe it's just really the result of a single droplet of consciousness kind of re-entering a vast ocean of consciousness. It's like in life, we're droplets, and when we transition, we become part of something much greater. And as a result of this, and seeing that ripple effect, we're able to take accountability, understand how we hurt people, understand how we help people, and we understand where we could have done better. And that is fundamental. When people come through, they tend to be a better version of who they formerly were because of these understandings. And that can be really profound. The second process I want to tell you about is actually, to me, much more interesting. And this is actually called the stripping of the ego. Now don't worry, Cole's not going to come down, I already started with the jacket, I'm not going to go any further. The stripping of the ego is a process that I've found they all go through. Now when we think of ego, we think of sometimes people being big-headed or being cocky, right? I'm not necessarily talking about that kind of ego, although that is sometimes played into. The ego, to me, is defined as any external belief systems that we accept about ourselves. I know it's a little heady, and I have a hard time with it too, but if you look up the word ego, it comes back, the definition, as self-importance. The things that we believe to be true about ourselves. It informs our self-esteem, our role in the universe, our role in the world, how we view ourselves, and how we view others. The ego is kind of like the filter that our judgments go through about our world and the people in it. When we transition, we strip this ego. We realize that our human fleshy bodies, we're kind of looking through a filter, and it's a filter of ego. When we transition, we realize, oh, I wasn't all of what I thought I was. And that can be very enlightening. So those two processes are essential, and that's good to keep in mind. So thank you, guys. All right. Couple more lessons, and then girlfriends, we're going to be like, bam, bam, bam. We're going to go all over the place. Okay. All right, so a lot of people were kind of curious, basically, how from 10 years on this happened. I knew that I had this ability in my teen years. I didn't really understand what it was when I was 10, that initial premonition. But as I started going to school and interacting with kids and teachers, I started finding that I would just have these little moments of knowingness, where I would just know things. Sometimes they were big things, sometimes they were trivial things, but I knew them. They felt like memories that were mine, except they weren't. And so I knew that I had this ability, and I knew that I needed to share it, but I didn't know the extent that I wanted to do it. At the time, I thought that the most valuable way of sharing this ability was going to be a hospice nurse. I graduated high school when I was 16 years old, and I enrolled in my local community college, and my goal was to become a hospice nurse. I enrolled in physiology, the classes. I was the youngest in my class. As I was in school, I didn't advertise these readings. My goal was fully on trying to become a hospice nurse. But word of mouth spread, and it spread very quickly. And I always tell people, when you're legit, you don't have to advertise. People will find you. And they did. People came to my door, they left notes. It was intense. I came to my mom one day and was like, Mom, I need to tell you something. I want to kind of do this to a larger extent than I'm doing, but I don't know how to feel about it. And she looked at me and she said, Tyler, maybe you should tell your dad first. I was 16 years old, and for 6 years, I had not told my dad, nor did my mom, by the way, of the premonition that I had had about his mother's death, or the fact that I had countless moments of knowingness throughout middle school. But I sat my dad down one day, and I said, Dad, I have to tell you something. You know, he's great. Oh, that was a bad hair color on me. Oh my God. Where did you get that picture? Horrible. Okay. My dad was always very supportive, but he came from a more conservative background, so I didn't want to step on his toes. So one day, Dad loves Patriots. My dad's like, woo! He loves the Patriots. He's not even from here, so I'm like, I sat my dad down one day and I said, Dad, I have to tell you something. I said, I need to get something off my chest. And I felt this way for a long time. And he sat there and he got real stoic. I said, Dad, ever since I was around like 10 to 13, I've noticed that I feel a little different than other people. I said, I interact with kids at school, I walk the PE track, and I just get these feelings that I can't explain about the people I'm around. And his eyes widened. That coming out was a much later conversation. I said, Dad, I am a medium. I get feelings, medium feelings, when I'm with people. And he looked at me and he was like, what's that? I was like, my dad did not know what a medium was. And I wish I were joking, but my dad literally did not know what a medium was. It could have been a shirt size for all of you. His version of a psychic medium was Madame Cleo on the 1-800 phone, whatever we call it. So I had a lot of explaining to do to him. Now, a short time after I told my dad, he came into the room and he asked me to get a yearbook off of his shelf. And I thought my dad was just wanting to relive the good old days with the long blonde hair and playing football and fabulous. Oh, there should be a photo. There it is. Oh, that's not. I have these jeans flowing through my body. He clearly got all of the athletic ones. But my dad was curious to see if I could go through a yearbook of his and identify people who had died without him telling me. He knew that he had had classmates of his who had passed, and he felt like if I could do what I said I'd do, then maybe I'd get a feeling about someone who died. So he handed me his yearbook, and my gut dropped. I thought, oh my God, what if nothing comes through? It's not like, oh, you know, that doesn't make sense, okay, bye, never see you again. Like, this is my dad. Like, if I'm wrong in front of him, I'm gonna have to face him forever. So, as I was looking under this yearbook, I started going through the pages, and initially nothing happened. But But I noticed, as I got a couple pages in, there was this weird twitching sensation that was happening over the page. And I didn't understand this. It almost looked like a combination of a literal spasm and also, like, you know, on a hot day when it's like we have a road and there's an oil slick and it gets real hot and you see that waviness. So it was kind of a combination of those things, is the only way I can describe it. I saw on a specific page, and I pointed to these 3 photographs. I just went bam, bam, bam. Things were moving. And I was just like, this. I don't know what this is. This. And my dad looked at me, and he closed the book. And he said that I had correctly identified 3 classmates of his who had died. And there's no way I could know that. In that moment, my dad believed me. My dad knew better, and so he did better. And the reason I'm telling you this story isn't because y'all probably have psychic kids at home. The reason I'm telling you this is because through my work, I have found that our interests are indications of our callings. Our interests are indications of our callings. And as a child, the only way that your calling can be cultivated is if you have a parent to be able to support that, to nurture that, to be open-minded enough to love that child for who they are, even if they're different. When my dad knew better, he did better. And he's why I'm on the stage today. When we know better, do better. Thank you, everybody.